We are now seeing so much change that we are in a situation in which companies that do not yet exist will build products not yet conceived, using materials not yet invented, with methodologies not yet in existence. That's your reality, and that's your opportunity. And what are you going to do to align yourself to what this means? Well, that's your focus over the next 2 days. You have a remarkable opportunity as IFC has brought you together to network, to collaborate, to share your ideas, to share your insight, to elevate the conversation to what we need to do to ensure that what we ultimately do is we change our future before the future changes us. And it's our ability to align ourselves to the speed of these trends that will define our future success.
Futurist Jim Carroll from the virtual home broadcast studio with some breaking news. Look, it looks like we're finally getting some clarity on the election in the US and what happens going forward. And what this means is that individuals are now starting to think about, well, what comes next? What's going to happen in 2021? And that's why one of the key focuses on my website in the coming weeks is going to be around the topic of the trends that will define 2021, and really in the context of what to expect when the future is unexpected, because we certainly know that we live in a world in which volatility is the new normal. So a message for my speaker bureau partners, event planner partners, meeting professionals, associations who have been involved with me and are looking for insight on the future. You now need to think about what you need to do to align yourself to a new reality as the future continues to come at us. Look, for 25 years, I've had the remarkable opportunity to spend my time on stages worldwide to share my insight on what comes next and what we need to do about it. And then with COVID-19, I'm now in a new business of a new form of reality. My job has been to put in perspective the reality of the trends which are unfolding for organizations, industries, companies, and individuals. Really, if you think about it, I'm in the business of reality. I take folks into a voyage into the future and the trends that will redefine their future. I'm now doing that from my virtual broadcast studio in my basement, where I have invested thousands of hours to figure out how to deliver my insight from a virtual broadcast studio to my clients worldwide. I knew when COVID-19 began that we were going to be in this for the long haul. And I've already paraphrased for a number of my clients that, look, what we need to do is we need to move through these 7 stages of COVID grief. People and organizations have gone through different phases in terms of their understanding of what is happening here. The early days, anger, shock, denial. I decided right from day one I was going to move on to acceptance, and I was going to innovate in the context of my virtual broadcast studio to develop my capabilities to reinvent myself, because I knew that we would not be leaving this space for quite some time. Here's what is now happening in the context of clarity with the election and the ongoing crisis with COVID-19. An increasing number of organizations, event planners, meeting professionals, associations, companies have realized they're not going back to the traditional conference meeting place anytime soon, that they're in this virtual world for quite some time. What is fascinating is they've tried to actually go back. We've seen a lot of initiatives where meeting planners, event professionals, associations have tried to put in place protocols, procedures to return to some type of normalcy, to bring people back together in a conference facility. And the news that is coming in is it's not going well. We recently had an event in Orlando where there were some positive cases that they don't know if it happened with the event or not. But what I'm hearing from my clients is they are not prepared to go back to conferences, event centers, event spaces in 2021. We're going to be stuck with virtual. And as you are dealing with your clients, whether as a speakers bureau or as a meeting professional, you're starting to hear the same stories. You are starting to hear the stories that, look, we've got to do something virtual. We know we need to accelerate our knowledge. We need to talk about the industry trends. We need some insight on what we need to be doing. We need to do it in a virtual fashion. I'm in the business of reality. I came to accept that reality quite some time ago, and that's why I've invested so much time and effort in developing the capability that you see here to provide that type of insight from a virtual broadcast studio. Because my entire mindset through my 25-year career is that what we need to do is we need to identify the trends which are going to shape our future and accept the reality of those trends. And look, history is littered with the wreckage of organizations who refuse to accept the reality of the trends which are in front of them. The reality of the trends we are faced with is we are not going back to the traditional meeting space anytime soon. Virtual is all we have. The challenge with virtual, and as you're talking to your clients, is you're finding that they have not had a good experience so far. You think about what happened in March and April and May. They tried out virtual events and they put together these Zoom calls where you had a bunch of people on a conference call using Zoom, and you had some speaker on there, and I characterized them as being like a hostage in a hostage video. They had a slide deck and they were rambling on, and they did not reinvent their ability to deliver insight in this new and unique format. And the result of that was people came to hate Zoom calls right off the bat. It was a massive failure. And now you're finding a lot of your clients are saying, yeah, we got to do something better. And that's why I've invested all of my time down here in my virtual broadcast studio to do that something better. Because here's the thing, attention spans are different. Before the COVID-19 hit, I was explaining for a lot of my clients that attention spans in our world have changed. One study indicated the typical goldfish today has a longer attention span than a human. And now we're in this virtual world and people are accessing events through their computers, through their iPhones, through their iPads, their tablet devices. Their attention spans are entirely different. So I have worked hard to provide interactive capabilities with Q&A, with text message polling, and as you can see, a lot of specialized stage effects to innovate in the context of what we can do in this online environment. The challenge is made worse by the unique political schism that we now have throughout society, and particularly in the US, which is one of my main markets. I often explain to my clients that, look, what we need to realize is that the future is coming at us faster than ever before. And I would often use the story of the Jetsons, this TV show set in the year 2062, to put in perspective that what we thought was going to arrive here in 2062, it's actually all here today. I would also try to diplomatically address the political situation by explaining the reality of what we are seeing in US politics today. It's almost like we're seeing the episode where the Jetsons met the Flintstones. Individuals who prefer the status quo, who don't want to go forward into the future, who prefer that everything just stay the way it was, versus individuals who know we are going into a 21st century that is full of opportunity. And we've seen the schism laid bare in terms of what is now happening with COVID-19 and the great mask debate. Clearly, this is going to have an impact on our ability to return to convention centers, to conferences, to in-person, face-to-face meetings. And I think quite clearly the early experiments are showing that this is not going to go well. All of these attempts are showing that there are individuals who are choosing not to wear their masks, choosing not to observe the protocols, and really introducing some safety and other concerns. My conclusion from what I'm hearing from individuals is that the companies with the money, the people who are spending in the events industry, the people who are investing sums to go forward, they're not prepared to invest in traditional face-to-face meetings. They're going to invest in virtual. And that's why we've got to maximize what we can do. The context of all this is happening in the reality that now that the election has come to an end and we have clarity and certainty on where we're going to be, individuals are now starting to think, well, what comes next? What do we need to do about it? And as a futurist, I've been working hard in the background to put together my thoughts, my structure, my insight, my capabilities in terms of what we can expect through 2021. And you will find a topic page, 2021, what to expect when your future is unexpected, understanding the trends that will define your new future, because people need to understand where we are going and what comes next. And I'm doing all that in the context of my virtual broadcast studio. We're talking hybrid events, we're talking virtual events, we're talking reinventing the event space to deal with the reality through 2021 of what comes next and what we need to do about it. I'm doing it here from my virtual broadcast studio. I would invite you to come in and visit me. Give me a call. I'll bring you in for a Zoom session or GoToMeeting or some other platform to give you a tour of what is possible and how we can make virtual work, because virtual can be done right. You simply need the vision, you need the insight, you need the drive, you need the capability, you need the perspective that we can go forward into a faster future in which the future belongs to those who are fast. And to do that, I would invite you to visit this page, virtual.jimcarroll.com. To see what I'm doing, then reach out, give me a call, I'll bring you into the studio. We can have a discussion. That's it for now. Futurist Jim Carroll. We'll see you as we discover together the opportunities that come in 2021.